Hello, welcome to the Craft House Magic podcast. Well, today we're doing the sewing bee challenge. 3 challenges like the sewing bee, and we also have some judges. Patrick and Esme. So what are your concerns about today's challenge, Esme?
No. Do you think Mummy will do it? Yes, I think so. What is the first challenge?
So the first challenge is the Agnes pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. It is a pattern that I've used quite a lot before. I'm going to see if I can cut it out and sew it within 1 hour. Let's get started. So the material I'm using today is some cotton jersey that I picked up from the Festival of Quilts. I did actually vlog that day, so I'll leave a link to that in the description bar down below, but I can't remember which stall I got it from. I hopefully will have linked it in the video, I'm not sure. So it's a lovely fuchsia colour, and I thought that it would be really nice to make up as the Agnes t-shirt because I've got a metre of it, and that's perfect for a short sleeve t-shirt, and Agnes is my favourite sort of short sleeve pattern that I've done at the moment. It's already taken me 10 minutes to cut out these pattern pieces, but I'm hopefully going to make it for the hour. So I'm going to start doing the overlock stage. The judges are sat there putting me off, as you can see. So what are your thoughts on my progress so far? Your moustache has fallen off.
I think you're a bit slow. The cutouts taken far too long. There's only 50 minutes to go.
I've just marked the notches with a friction pen so I don't have to worry about any pins being in the way. And I'm going to start joining the front and back panels. Jensen, are you going to help? I can tell that this is the front because obviously there's a scoop neck on it. Scoop neck, yeah. Are you my glamorous assistant for the day, Jensen?
Yeah.
This material has a right side and the wrong side, so I'm just making sure that I've got the right side. It's sometimes difficult to tell with these one colour jerseys, but I think I've got it. I'll pin it together and then just double check. So I'm putting some elastic to stabilise the shoulders, and I'm just stitching that on with the overlocker. I've lost my scissors.
Lucky you've got a million pairs.
I'm actually using a contrast thread rather than a matching thread because I'm going to do some top stitching in this as well, but I'm just using it for the main colour for the overlocking seam. So I'm going to do that with the other seam. How long have I got left, Patrick?
You've got 41 minutes.
So I'm now doing the neckband, folding it over. So I stitched it into a loop. Now I'm folding it over and pinning it in place. I'm going to mark 4 quarter points so that I can attach it to the neckband. So I have now inserted the neckband, well, I've pinned it in place and I'm going to overlock it in place. It's taken me a little bit of time, 30 minutes, so I better get a wiggle on with this and then we can get inserting the sleeve. So I've recently started cutting in a notch to start off with the overlocker when I'm doing a neckband. So I'm cutting in about 1 centimetre just so that the overlocker doesn't need to stitch in at an angle. I've cut out a little notch like that so that I can put it into the machine and I can be straight at the seam point that I want to be. 1.5 centimetre seam allowance so that I don't have to scoop into the seam, and it should make it slightly neater. so that I don't have to run off again, I put all my tension dials to 0 and just pull that out. Put the tension dials back, and then I'll just stitch a bit to make sure that it's all okay before I start doing my next bit on. And there we go, that is a neater edge, and I just need to sew these ends in. There we go, so I just need to give this a press with a cool iron to get that all into place. I will do the cover stitch at the end, I think, because I'll do all the overlocking first and then I'll come back and top stitch this with the cover stitch afterwards. When I was pressing, I just made sure that I didn't go anywhere near the marks that I did with the friction pen, because that would have made them disappear. I've got to match these marks up on the sleeves and make sure that I've got them in the right direction and that the fabric is right side to right side. Sleeves all pinned in, I'm going to overlock that into place. One sleeve in. Alexa, how long left?
You have 16 minutes left on your 1 hour timer.
I'm now sewing the side seams. Right, I finished sewing the main body of the t-shirt. It's still inside out. And I've got to give it a press and start turning up the seams. I don't know how long I've got left.
You have 7 minutes and 20
7 minutes
left
to do the seams.
So
I'm just giving the seams a very light press. I don't really like pressing the right side of the fabric, but I do when I make things, because otherwise you don't quite get that finish. It can damage the fabric. So just giving it a very light press, and then I need to get this hem turned up on the sleeves and on the bottom of the garment. And I also need to thread the cover stitch machine as well, which is going to take me a few minutes. And then I tend to use my little gadget to measure the 1.5 centimetre seam allowance. And I'm using pins for stretch fabric, so they're slightly blunt. Pinned all the bottom hem. I'm going to give it a little gentle press just into place so that when I'm stitching it on the machine it just comes out that little bit neater. I'm going to do that both sides, and then I just need to pin the sleeve hems before I need to cover stitch. I don't think I've got very much time left. It's a bit tight doing it in an hour. I thought it'd be easy. Never mind. I'm just going to hem the sleeves as well.
30 seconds left.
Oh no, 30 seconds! I've only managed to pin one sleeve. Let's see how much I can pin of the second sleeve. Oh, I failed. I failed the 1 hour time. Never mind. Alexa, stop. I will carry on and I will let you know how much longer it takes me. I'm now rethreading my cover stitch with the right colours. So I've got a nice bright pink, and I'm cheating a bit here because I do tend to knot the next colour in and change it, but sometimes I have to rethread it. But actually the cover stitch isn't too bad to rethread anyway. I just thought it's worth trying to knot it in and pull it through just to save time, really. Right, it's taken me 7 minutes to rethread the machine with the pink threads. I've tested it. I'm happy with how the stitch looks on the back. So I'm going to go ahead with the real garment. I'm going to start with the bottom hem, I think, really, because that is the easiest one to do. That's stitched really nicely, but I'm just going to sew these ends into the work just so that it makes sure everything's secure. And I just use a needle, thread that onto the thread. This is actually a tapestry needle because it doesn't need to be sharp, just to thread the threads in within the stitches of the cover stitch so it's nice and secure. I've got some threads to trim from the other ends of the seams, but now I just need to do this sleeve and the neckline. So now I'm on the last bit on the neckline. I'm going to top stitch using the cover stitch, using 2 needle stitch all the way around so that this edge is sewed down securely and it gives a nice neat edge. Alright, I think that's come out nicely. I'm going to sew in the ends and then sew a little label on the inside to finish that off. So I decided that it needed a bit of finishing at the back here because where I've gone over it with the overlocker and the cover stitch, it's a little bit sort of messy. So I'm going to see if I can stitch over a little bit of ribbon. What I've done with this ribbon is I've cut it to length and I've just used a lighter on the edge of the ribbon just to melt it slightly so that it doesn't fray at all at the edges. And then I haven't decided whether I'm going to stitch it on the machine or hand stitch it yet. I'm going to pin it in place and see, because I want it to be really nice and neat. Not that anyone else is going to see this bit but me, but when I'm putting it on a coat hanger it'll be pleasurable. I'm going to put a little label on the inside as well, but I'm going to put this ribbon in first. The messiest bit is where I've gone sort of back over myself, where it's gone over twice on the overlocker and twice on the cover stitch. There's a lot of threads there. So if I finish it off with a nice ribbon, I think that'll look really nice. And I've got a little made by me label. I've actually just recently stocked these in the shop, and I think it's a nice little touch so you can tell which the back of your t-shirt is or whatever garment it is. Just a nice finishing touch. I think I'm going to sew it like that. I think I might just stitch it by hand so that I can make sure that everything is sort of invisible on the back as well, because I don't want the stitching coming through on the back of the neck. So I'm going to stitch that by hand, I think. So it's going to take me a little bit longer. So I've hand sewn in the label. I'm going to give that a bit of a press just to make it all flat again. I'm pleased with that, how that's come out. So there we are, I've given it a bit of a press. I think if you had a neckline that was more curved than this, you'd have difficulty sort of putting a standard ribbon around the back neckline, but I think that looks okay. I'm really pleased with that. It looks nice and finished, so I'll try it on to show you what it looks like. There we are, that's the Agnes t-shirt by Tilly and the Buttons. Pleased with that. I love this colour, so that'll be something I wear a lot, and I'm really pleased that I've got one of the labels sewn in the back so it looks sort of finished a bit more. Like I said before, they are in the shop now. I don't have millions of them, so once they've gone, but I think it's nice because there's pink ones to go with this, and there's also some different colours. I think there's black and white and like a brown version as well, but something that just looks like a professional label to remind you that you made it for yourself. So it did actually take me about 2 hours to finish this t-shirt in the end, because I did the hand sewing on the back. It took me about an hour and a half to sew the seams and everything, but half an hour to do the extra stitching to hand sew the label in. I could have done it on the machine, but I didn't want it to show at the back, so really pleased I did that. So the next challenge that I've got is the transformation challenge. Now I have a garment that is a shop bought garment that I got for Jensen. This is like a little bodysuit that we got, and this is age 2 to 3, which is sort of the size that he's wearing now, but he doesn't wear the ones that are buttoned up underneath the nappies anymore, so I'm going to transform it. It's probably not going to be a very exciting transformation challenge like you see on the proper sewing bee, but I am going to change this up. So let's get started. I'm going to time myself about half an hour for this and see if I can get it in half an hour. So what I'm going to do is just get the rotary cutter and ruler and just cut right across here and then re-hem it, and hopefully that shouldn't take too long. Alright, so that's done. I want to do the same as I did with the other t-shirt and pin up the hem. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. And can I stick to the 30 minutes deadline? Right, so now it's all pinned, the hem at the bottom. I'm going to give it a little bit of a press on both sides. And use the cover stitch to stitch that hem. So that actually took me less time. That took me 12 minutes. That was amazing. So there is Jensen's little top. That'll be much more wearable now, and it's transformed, although I don't think the judges are going to be very impressed with the actual transformation because it is pretty much still a t-shirt. Oh wow, this fits lovely now, doesn't it, Jensen? It's got lions on it. So for the third and final challenge, the made to measure, I'm going to be doing a pattern out of the new mini makes books from Tilly and the Buttons. Now, I have made the Billy sweatshirt, the adult version, before for myself, but then there's a child's version in here, which is this one. And I'm going to do a Billy sweatshirt for Jensen, but with a bit of a twist, with a bit of a different detail on the front from what the book says. I shall show you as I'm going along of what my idea is. But first of all, I need to trace out the pattern for the Billy sweater and get on with cutting out the main pattern pieces first. So there's a difference in the pattern for younger and older children. These ones here are where they've suggested doing an animal face on the front, but for the younger children there's a button closure at the side. But for 4 to 12-year-olds, there's no button closure, it's just without. So I'm going to be making the 3 to 4 year size for Jensen. He is 2.5, so I thought, well, if I make the 3 to 4 years, then he'll get loads of wear out of it. I think he's quite on the small sides for a little boy anyway, so it should last him for ages, although it might be a bit big on him to start with. So I'm already ruining my made to measure challenge by making it on the big side, really, but you know. I'm deviating from what I should be doing for the sewing bee. But here we go. I'm going to go and trace out the pattern pieces first. So I'm just cutting out the pattern pieces now, and then I can start cutting out the fabric. So I've done a bit of a plique. I used some Bonder web to adhere it, and I've stitched it using free motion stitching on my sewing machine, my standard faff sewing machine. And I'm going to start joining the other pieces together. I've got some contrast cuffs as well to brighten it up. Some leftover fabrics. These are from leftover fabrics, and actually this fabric is from the top that I made this morning, so it's nice to use up some little scraps to make a little design. Hopefully Jensen will like it. Let's get assembling. I've got 37 minutes left from my 2-hour timer, so we'll see if we can do it in the 2-hour slot. I think it's taken me about 45 minutes to do the free motion and the applique compared to the rest of it, so that's taken up quite a big chunk of the time. Let's see if I can get it finished. So first of all, I joined the front and back bodices by one side and added the neckband, and then I was able to fold over the edge that's overlapping and add some buttonholes, and I used the sewing machine to add some buttons as well. I then went on to joining on the sleeves, joined the side seams together, and then added the bottom band and the cuffs. I've only got 8 minutes left for my 2-hour slot. I better get a wiggle on. Now doing the hemband, joining the 2 pieces together.
Five minutes to go.
5 minutes, quick! I'm afraid I've only just done the bottom band and the time has run out, so I am over time. I've still got the cuffs to do. I'm going to carry on and show you the finished object. And then I decided that it needed a little bit of something for the eye, so I added a bead for the eye as well. So Jensen, what do you think of your new jumper? Is it nice? Is it lovely?
Stand back a bit.
Can you stand back and give me a twirl so we can all see what it looks like? It is a little bit on the big side, isn't it? But you've got plenty of growing space, haven't you? Because you're growing really fast.
Yeah.
What do you think of the dinosaur on it? On your jumper?
Mama album.
Yes, Mummy's sewing machine.
Mama album.
Can you show me your dinosaur on your jumper?
With the dots? Where are the dots? Yeah, where are the dots on your outfit? Where are your dots on your outfit? Has he got a little eye, has he? Did Mummy sew him an eye on?
Yeah.
So do you like it, Jensen?
Yeah.
Good. Can you say bye-bye to everybody, please?
Bye.
So the conclusion is that having the time constraints of the sewing bee is absolutely terrifying. And even at home it's difficult. I think, wow, those people that go on the sewing bee, they're pretty amazing. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I shall see you on the next episode. Bye!